Okay, now we're going to take a look at domain name services, or DNS. So this is what translates www.gmail.com into an IP address. So whereas ARP is going to take an IP address and make it into a MAC address, this is one level higher, takes a easily rememberable domain name and turns it into the IP address. And again, that's going to tell hosts where to send the traffic when it's called by the domain name. So it can also be spoofed. So again, there's no requirement that you tell the truth. So when I do DNS, I say I want to browse to www.gmail.com. What's the IP address? So I ask my local DNS server. It may or may not know gmail.com. If not, it asks another DNS server. Someone eventually somewhere will know what the IP address is, which will call back to this local DNS server, which will tell Kali, and then Kali will be able to send its information to the right place to get to www.gmail.com. So again, we can cache poison this, so we can use a tool called Dns Spoof to do so. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We are going to have to do ARP spoofing between the gateway and our target, so when it tries to call out for DNS, it will instead ask us, and we will reply with whatever we want. So I'm going to do ARP spoofing, but this time I want the gateway, which is .1 in my case, and Ubuntu. So I'm going to make Ubuntu the target, so this time instead of telling it that I'm XP and vice versa, I'm going to tell it I'm the gateway. So I will restart my two ARP spoofs, one on each side. Again, this time I want to be the gateway. Alright, so first I want to create a file called host.txt, and I'll say www.gmail.com is 127.0.1, and that's actually backwards. Syntax is hard. You may do it anyways, mind you. I'll just say localhost is www.gmail.com. So it has somewhere to go to. I'll start up the Apache server. So currently there's nothing there except the default. Whoops. It works. So nothing really interesting there, but of course if we go to gmail.com, it should look like Gmail. Good, I'm not logged in. That would have been embarrassing, and I would have had to redo the video. So let's pull this back up. So I've got my host.txt. So I do want to use a tool called Dns Spoof. And again, we do -I and ETH0 for the interface. That's a T, not an I. And we want to do F for the file, and it's called host.txt. So it's going to listen for any incoming DNS requests and respond to them accordingly, saying that we are www.gmail.com. So let's pop back over to Ubuntu and say we want to go to www.gmail.com. Well, that's certainly not Gmail, that's in fact us. So that is in fact our Apache server. So we could change this around to actually look like Gmail. When we look at the social engineer toolkit a bit later on, we'll actually see that. Or we can hopefully get people to enter their credentials into a site that we own, thinking that it's the legitimate site. And DNS spoofing isn't the only way to get someone to go to our website, but it certainly helps. So that's our DNS example. So we see that it actually saw the request from 80, which is indeed our Ubuntu system. So it responded accordingly and said we're gmail.com, and thus our Ubuntu system did surf to our page.